On this episode, we have...
Hey, this is Shoi, and I play the guitar for Profundis.
Welcome to the show, Shoi. And the first question that we'd like to ask you is, why did you choose the name as Profundis?
The name Profundis, basically, our vocalist Craig picked it from a song by a band called Abruptum. Basically, Craig really liked that song, and particularly the word Profundis, which in Latin means from the depths. I think, besides just the general sound of the name, what he really liked is the whole atmosphere that he generated, quite a dark atmosphere, which effectively really illustrated very well the kind of music that we were trying to do. And then he basically presented it to the rest of the band, and everyone sort of went in agreement with it. And it's great. I think it's a great name because it really stands out. There aren't that many bands with a Latin name. There's a few albums, obviously, a few albums with the word Profundis in it, but we just like it as a band name as well. It conjures up a lot of images straight away, whether you know Latin or you don't. So there you go.
Well, that is true. The name is really good and it does reflect on your sound. The next question that I'd like to ask you is, how did you guys find the Rock in India show last year? And do you have any plans of coming back?
Oh man, Rock in India was just really a phenomenal experience. I think for all of us really in the band. For me, on a personal level, being able to play in India, the country where I'm originally from, was a great opportunity. The fact is that we were supporting Iron Maiden. I mean, you can't get any bigger than that, really. The entire band, we're all big fans of Maiden and what they've achieved. For the rest of the band, it was also, for the rest of the guys, I mean, I think it was a phenomenal experience to be able to play that far away from home. And I'll be honest with you, we were really taken aback by the crowd's reaction. We knew that, extreme metal's got a big following in India. A lot of the bands that we sort of, know in that scene are pretty big. But honestly, we weren't expecting sort of this big of a mosh pit to break out in the middle of our songs. Even on the quiet bits, that we have in our songs, they were just going crazy, man. They were just going apeshit. So it was great. It was just a great experience to play on that stage. We had great fun. So yeah, I mean, we always said at the time the Rock in India was not going to be the only time Profundis would be coming to India. Definitely not. India is a big interest for us. We all want to go back there. So we are currently, in the works to come back for a tour. As you know, we've got a deal with Sony in India, so releasing our first album, Beyond Redemption, and in a few months' time our second album as well, entitled Oblique Reflection. So yeah, we will be coming back to India. We're hoping to be there, but actually in February, which would be fantastic again. And this time we won't just limit it to Bangalore. We will be playing everywhere where they want us to play, really. Wherever there's people that want to hear some extreme metal, then we'll be there. So count on us. But we'll see you soon.
Well, that's great. I hope to see you guys soon in Bombay then. Do you have any favorite bands from the Indian subcontinent?
Well, I've been sort of keeping an eye out on the sort of Indian, this Indian subcontinent metal scene for a few years. And I've seen a few bands. I mean, I've obviously got to see Cryptos last year at Rock in India. I really enjoyed their set. Very professional, good music. Came across really well on stage. Actually, our bass player and drummer did a bit of judging on the judging panel the day before Rock in India, where they were voting out some of the best bands in India. And one of the first comments they said, which is very encouraging, is they were actually blown away by the level of some of those bands. The level of technicality in their playing, their song craftsmanship, everything was really spot on, and they were really surprised, maybe because we don't hear about metal bands that much from India, outside of India. But generally, they were really, really pleased to see the level, and that the flame is burning high in India as well.
Thanks a lot for your words of encouragement, and I hope that we can promote all the metal bands in the subcontinent to such an extent that they are heard more outside. The next question that I'd like to ask you is, what do you think about the Flaming Skull podcast?
I'll be honest with you, the Flaming Skull podcast was really sort of introduced to me very recently by actually our manager in India, Sashwat Gupta from Grey and Thorian. He sort of told me about this a little bit. I've been checking you guys out. It's cool, man. It's great to have it's great to have sort of these kind of panels and forums and all that on the net for metal, because let's face it, metal is not going to be diffused on the sort of TV channels, or at least not the kind of metal that we do. So it's great that, we've got people like yourself that are sort of, endeavoring in this kind of, activities and really propagating the word of metal everywhere. It's fantastic for us. It's also, let's face it, the new way to market music generally, whether it's metal or any form of music, because let's face it, the standard media of TV and all that is, for a start, way too expensive. And secondly, it doesn't have the sort of, personal reach that we want to get to. So having listened to some of the stuff you're doing, I'm pretty pleased with it. Just, keep at it, and, hopefully we'll be able to be back here on your podcast very soon with other De Profundis news.
Thank you. And we are really looking forward to featuring a track from your upcoming release in the near future. The next question that I'd like to ask you is, what's in store for the future of De Profundis? And do you have any message for all the listeners?
Well, actually, there's a lot going on in the De Profundis camp at the moment. We are really, really busy. As you know, the first album, Beyond Redemption, is coming out, has just come out in India via Sony Music, which is, again, a great thing for us. It ensures us a big distribution. We've actually signed up an agreement with Brian Sorian now to actually manage us in India, because the one thing we have realized is that if you want to work on the Indian market, you need somebody who knows the Indian market inside out, but also understands metal as well. I think that's key as well. You've got to understand how a metal band works, how the metal scene works, how to approach metal fans. So that's another thing that we've done. Actually, the first album was recorded in 2007, so it's about two years behind in terms of a release in India. Not a problem. So which means that for De Profundis fans in India, it's a great time, because in the next few months we'll have the release of the second album, which I mentioned previously. It's called Oblique Reflection. It's a big step up. The album is, from already people that have heard some tracks, the feedback we're getting is incredible. People are just blown away by the sort of the songs that we've written, the sort of, the level of musicianship has gone up, because we've also had a bit of a lineup change, which means that we've got some people that are just phenomenal in their playing ability. But all in all, we just know each other so much more now that, producing the kind of music we really want is much easier. So we're really looking forward to come over to India and everywhere, and promote both, albums now, obviously. And hopefully we'll see everyone soon. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the De Profundis camp, so, keep up to date. You can look at our MySpace page, which is, De Profundis UK, so myspace.com/De Profundis UK, to keep up to date with what we're doing. And hopefully we'll see you crazy Indian fans very soon.
Thank you for being on the show. Best of luck with your future endeavors, and hope to see you guys pretty soon.
You have turned into the Flaming Skull podcast, the underground metal front, and the next track is from our first album, Beyond Redemption, and it's called Delusion of Life.